Hello, everybody, and welcome to Identity Fraud on Roblox. So, to give a little bit of context, basically, me and a few of my friends ended up sitting down and playing this game, and I decided to just kind of record it in the background, just for fun. And it actually ended up being a really, really good game that I found out a little bit after recording that apparently a lot of Roblox YouTubers and such have been playing quite a bit of it. And so I thought that I would go ahead and edit down this video and post it for all of you. Now, I will say the unfortunate thing is the first section here that we are in currently, I did not end up recording all of it because it was being a little bit laggy, weirdly. And then I ended up not recording part of the second section because I was worried it was going to lag again, and also because I kind of forgot. So I have like the first little bit of the first area, I have about half of the second, and then I have pretty much the rest of the game after that. So I do apologize for not having everything, but I will do my best to kind of cut around it and make it work. Either way, I hope you all enjoy, and I guess I'll let you watch the video. Alright, so I'm just gonna wander. Oh, is that. Oh, okay, it's actually my friend. Okay, good, good, good. Oh, there we go. Okay, got a few people here. It's good. So, I don't really know what this game's about. It's called Identity Fraud. So, I assume there's going to be some stealing of identities. I don't really know what that means. But, I mean, I guess we'll find out. To my understanding, there are fake versions of us wandering around, maybe, possibly. I don't really know. And I don't really know where we're supposed to be going. On top of that, we're also missing a friend, so kind of need to find them first before we can get at it, whatever this is. It's another person. Not who we're looking for, but there's another person. Hmm. Hmm. Looks like a little marker. Interesting. And there's another one. But yeah, so basically, my friends have dragged me into this. This was not my choosing. They were like, oh, let's play this. Because this is cool. And I was like, okay. There's friend. Okay, good. We are all together. We have the group. I guess the next thing is really just finding a way out. Is there going to be a door somewhere? Is there going to be some sort of portal, maybe? Who knows? Oh, and they broke a light. Okay then. This game reminds me sort of the back rooms. And it might just be because the walls are like yellow. But I don't know. Just the maze-like vibe and the fact that there's supposed to be some sort of monsters or something chasing us. I would have to assume. So I guess, I don't know. Or, you know, maybe there's no exit. Maybe this is just it. Maybe we just wander forever until we die. So we basically just kind of wandered around aimlessly for like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't even remember. Um, we ended up running into a demon thing that started chasing one of us. It was very focused on one person. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think his name was Joe or something, though. I don't know. And then, after absolutely forever, we finally found the door to the next area. And we're able to make our way into level 2. So, we'd made it to the second area, which was sort of like a hedge maze. I mean, better than just a whole bunch of walls. At least we can, you know, at least we're outside now. Got a nice view. And there's a tunnel down there that we don't want to go into because it's gross and small and not outside. It's not actually the reason, we're just waiting because one of our friends had to go do stuff. Oh, and I also forgot to mention we picked up somebody along the way. We were just kind of hanging out, trying to figure out what to do, and I believe it was Skittles just kind of ran into us and decided to hang out. So now we have a party of 5, which is pretty cool. These people are taking absolutely forever, but it's fine. We ended up heading down into the tunnel after what felt like forever, because people were taking their sweet time. And quickly made our way through. Climbing up the ladder. And we're now at one of the camps. So throughout the second maze, there are 3 camps. As you progress through the maze, you will get to each of these 3 camps in order, starting with 1, then you get to the second one, and the third. Once you've made it to the 3rd camp, you have one more little bit of maze to go through before you get to the door into the next area. Now, we were kind of unsure of where to go, and so basically we just picked someone to lead and then just followed them. Now, another thing in this maze is every, I think it's 5 minutes or so, the lights either turn on or turn off. They swap. So the lights just went off now. In about 5 minutes they will turn back on, and there's a timer at each camp to tell you when they will turn on or off. So realistically, your best play is to just wait at the campsite until the lights are on, and then go. But we were not exactly going to sit around for 5 minutes. Wait. Especially not me. I'm always in a hurry. I'm the type to just brute force anything and everything. And so far, it was working pretty well. We hadn't run into any dead ends. We hadn't really run into any monsters or anything yet either. And we were at the next camp. So, worked out. So, anyway, we basically then hung around the second camp for a little while before moving on towards the final little bit. And then, once we made our way all the way to the end and found the door, we got a little stuck, to say the least. Because when we finally arrived at the door, all that there was a button that said 4036 on it. We all pressed the button a whole bunch of times. We tried to press it based on the number. Nothing worked. However, I then thought, well, it gives us the number. What if we type it in the chat? And that opened the door and led us into the third area. So, the third level was somewhat of a school, I think, was the general idea. And for the first 2 levels, we kind of just randomly wandered and hoped for the best. And so we decided to kind of do the same thing here. Specifically, me leading the way. And everyone just kind of following and hoping that I know what I'm doing. And unfortunately for us, it didn't really work very well this time. Because not only was this school very much like a very complicated maze, it felt like, but it seemed to consistently just be the same hallway over and over again. Now, if you do remember those markers we saw earlier, those are actually something that we can place down within the game. Which we were doing as a way to maybe kind of keep track of where we'd been. However, I noticed a bit later as we were kind of looking around again that after a while the markers start to shrink before disappearing, meaning that we could not use that as a strategy to know where we'd been and where we hadn't. So this one basically, to tell you at length, took a while. For more than just the fact that we got lost many, many times. But you'll see why that is in a little bit. You know, I'm starting to think I don't know where I'm going. And, oh, what is that? Let's just keep going. And, oh, this is a dead end. Oh. Oh. Maybe we're safe here. Maybe. Maybe we're safe here. Oh, no, no, I'm dead. Okay. Well, apparently wandering around randomly is not going to work, so I guess we're gonna have to come up with a different idea. So, basically we, after dying, started talking and discussing and thinking about what can we do differently, and we couldn't come up with anything. So we just decided to continue to wander around randomly, somebody kind of leading the way every once in a while, and we swapped back and forth. And we finally found a door, but we weren't sure what to do next. So after wandering around for a little, looking around because there was no button or anything near the door, I kind of took notice to the radio that was beeping. And I noticed some of them were like very quick, like almost flashes, and some of them were slightly more elongated, I guess. And that was when I realized that this was some sort of code. Maybe like a Morse code of some sorts. And so I decided to grab a book that I conveniently have on some different Morse codes and different things like that, and started to kind of work my way through it, trying to figure out what the code could possibly be. So, for those of you who don't know what Morse code is, let me just quickly explain. Those quick, almost flashing, like flashes that I was describing, represent a dot, and the sort of more elongated ones represent a dash. And basically, each letter and number is given a certain amount of dots and dashes in a certain order to represent them. For example, 5, the number 5, is just 5 dots in a row. And to tell the difference in between each letter and or number, there is usually a gap of time in between. But either way, we figured out the code using that and got through to what we thought was the final room. We were very wrong. Before going into the final room, we were faced with one more puzzle. Unfortunately, none of us knew what this was. And I didn't actually end up solving this one of my friends did, but I will explain the general idea of what I got based on the way they explained it. So, basically, each number on there represents a different letter. And so each of those numbers, if you replace them with the letter that they represent, it spells, like, it creates a sentence. And I believe that sentence said something about changing some of the numbers in the code that was at the top. So basically, what we had to do was take those numbers, figure out what letter each of them represented, and spell out what the sentence said, and then do as the sentence said to change the code, type it into the chat, and then it would open the door into the final room. So I do believe, if I remember correctly, the sentence for us said, replace all 7s with 4s. Meaning that once we had figured it out, all we had to do was type 3404440 into the chat, and it would open the final door. And so once we had figured it out, that is what we did. Now, To say the next room was difficult would be an understatement. Let me show you why. So yeah, I died. Basically, you walk into the room, the doors close behind you, the boss spawns, and you're given a rocket launcher to shoot at him. The health bar when you hit him never went down on my screen. I don't know about my friends, but it seemed like it was about the same for them based on what they were saying. So it was hard to tell whether we were doing damage. And on top of that, you can't stand in front of him because you can't dodge his laser at all. It is like literally impossible. So you basically have to hide behind the post, heal, pop out, shoot at him, go back, heal, and repeat. Now, we'd already been playing this for a good, 3 hours. We were not giving up on the last hurdle of the game. So, we hopped in yet again for about the, I think, 6th or 7th time. And we focused and did our absolute best. We did anything and everything we could to make sure that we didn't die and to make sure that we could finish this. Going into the second phase here, I was a little nervous because I hadn't gotten to this point yet. Luckily, most of us were still alive at this point. So it made me feel at least a little better. And then both my friends died, so that was great. And I was left here by myself to finish off the boss and complete Identity Fraud. Of course, I made sure to hang around until they had finished too, but I went through the credits while I was waiting. If you want to read any of this, I've made sure to look at all of it. If you need to, you can always pause, just take a look at everything. But I think that's about it for me. So thank you all for watching. I really hope you did enjoy this one. This was a bit of something different for me. If you did enjoy, I would love if you could leave a like, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment letting me know. Because honestly, I'd be down to play more games like this, because this was such a good game. I was actually so surprised at how well put together everything was. And I'm just really impressed with the amount of effort that went into this. But again, thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one. Enjoy the credits.